thanks to the support as a channel member, Curtis Rothwell. Well, after beating Bayern Munich 8-0 earlier in the season, I figured I should probably show you the next time we play them, especially because they are, of course, now managed by the former Inter manager, who very much has had my number in the past. Till we beat 8-0. Please, can we win today? Hello and welcome to Club 3, part 26 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that league game away against title rivals Bayern, which realistically, if we win, we're going to win the league. They're 5 points behind us now. We will hopefully beat them and win the league. Then we've got the second leg of our Champions League playoff game against Atletico. We beat them 3-1 away from home in the first leg, so fingers crossed we should be able to cruise through the playoff round that we never should have been in. I still don't want to talk about it. This is what's happened since you were last with me. We've played a few league games, the cup game, and of course Atletico Madrid, winning all of them. And as mentioned, Bundesliga looks like this. So we are looking good for the title as long as we beat Bayern, and we are looking pretty strong against an Atletico team who are down in 6th place in La Liga. They are not having a very good season, 20 points behind Barcelona, who of course we did beat earlier in the season in the league stage of the Champions League. So this is the team to take on Bayern. This is the first Bundesliga game I've shown you in like a season and a half, I think. It's Antonio Carlos in goal, a back four of Gray, Suarez, Caldere and Schikowski, Van Eijsma at the base of the midfield, Big Kev and Ruiz in central midfield, and then Hiskey, Herrera and Egan as your front three. So let's get the team submitted. I have checked and Bayern are still playing that horrible box system that Inter always used to play and ruin us with, but I don't know if I've mentioned it. I may have forgotten to bring it up, but they did play that against us earlier in the year, and finally, after 3 seasons of trying to figure out a way to counter that system, we absolutely ripped it apart with our back three defensive inverted wing back thing. Colin Gray that day did a 10 out of 10 performance and I think got 5 assists out of the 8. He was just in absolutely incredible form. One thing to note as well, you probably have already noticed, Big Kev is in central midfield with Egan up front. That's because Jude Bellingham is injured. He's going to be missing the next month or so. So Big Kev has dropped back into midfield. It allows Egan to start, and for the first time ever, we've got a consistent run of games where we can play Hiskey, Egan and Big Kev all at the same time. This is a team that's got goals in it, so fingers crossed we can go and score some of those goals today. And of course, Big Kev and Egan, both former Bayern Munich guys, who are going to be very much looking to once again get one over their former club. It is a corner. It's going to be Gray with the in-swinger. This destroyed Bayern in the previous match. In-swinger, looking for that far post where Suarez was lurking, and Suarez has actually given away a free kick. I thought he might have won a penalty for a second there, but they could not cope with those in-swinging corners in the last game. It wasn't exclusively doing them with set pieces. We did control the match as well, with Gray alongside Van Eijsma just running the show between the two of them, but the set pieces were certainly a big part of it as well. Big Kev, plenty of space to run into, but he ran so slowly that everyone caught up with him, and Schikowski couldn't get there ahead of the Bayern guy, and we've got a little bit of a counter-attack to deal with here. We have slotted back into our back four shape, but it wasn't enough to stop them from scoring a goal, and this is not the ideal start to the game that we were looking for. It's 1-0 to Bayern. They've probably never wanted to beat us more than they want to beat us right now. Not only do they need revenge from the 8-0 earlier in the season, but of course it's now been 3 years since they've won the Bundesliga that they'd previously won 18 years in a row. So they know that not only does a win for them today get them a smattering of revenge for what happened before, but of course it also gets them right back in the title race and gives them the opportunity to start trying to right what I'm sure they consider to be a wrong in terms of them not being in control of Bundesliga for a little while. They've got their new manager with multiple Serie A's and Champions League titles to his name, and they will be very much looking to get themselves back on top of the perch here in Germany and re-establish themselves in Europe, presumably. And we can't let any of that happen. We're the big guys around these parts now. Although we are still losing as we head towards half-time. And Bayern are in again, and that was... I mean, if they'd have had any kind of finishing on that, that would have been very problematic because they had a completely unmarked guy in the penalty area. And at 1-0 down at half-time, this is not going to plan. I think we've moved on from the last couple of years of us just dominating Bundesliga with no rivals. Bayern Munich, under my nemesis, are very much back, but hopefully we can still hold them up. He has to be offside there. Nim, of course, a guy I had at Burton, and he's demonstrating why I should have probably brought him to Dortmund as well. That's a very tidy finish. How he's not offside, I don't know. Is he inside their half when the ball is... No. How on earth is he onside? I'm going to need to see... Right, hold on. Get me 2D Classic. No, this is a replay. Hold on. What do I normally have? Oh, I've lost it all now. I'm on tilt. TV camera is what we normally have. I can't do... I want a replay. No, on TV Classic. And now I want to go back. How do you go back? Go back. Replay? Go back. Rewind. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. We're doing analysis here. He might just be in their half when the ball is played. So if we go forward a frame from there, I don't think the ball's been played yet. Get me to the other camera. Oh, crumbs, what have I done now? Get me to the other camera. Has that ball been played? I mean... And he's gone. Take me back again. I want to go back a little further. There must be a frame in between those two. I don't understand. Get me slow motion. Replay. Can I change? Right. Does that slow it down in replay? No, it doesn't. Brilliant. Is there a way to do a replay in slow motion? I don't really know the controls, do I? Either way, I feel like he must have been offside. I've been robbed it. I'm furious. Absolutely. I'm berating them. This is not okay. Nim, of all people. Where's Cerulli? Are they not even using him anymore? Don't even need him. I hate this box formation. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It obviously just took the new guy a little while to get his feet under the table. We played them very early in the season and they hadn't learnt to play it yet, but now they've learnt to play it. We've seen from the league table just how relentlessly they've been winning just like we have. And now they're very comfortably dealing with us again. And now I've got to deal with this clown domestically as well as internationally. I hate it. I hate it and I hate him. It's rubbish. Where's Ilunga? Get Ilunga on. We're putting Big Kev up front. We're switching to this. Oh, this is nightmarish. And now they've got a corner. Oh, I'm so sad. This season was supposed to... Do you remember at the start of this season, this was supposed to be our invincible season where we won our third Bundesliga in a row and topped it off with a Champions League. And Bayern are just ruining everything for everybody. I feel like I fully understand what it's like to be a German football fan at this point. Go very attacking, you idiots. Right, let's get Hiskey up front. We'll try him this time. Where's Cessped? There he is. Is there anyone who can make me happy at this point? If we go and lose to Atletico as well, I thought non-league to legend was... I think a couple of episodes ago, I thought this series was coming to an end. I thought we were about to cement legendary status. As it is, I mean, we're still in control of our own destiny. If we win every match between now and the end of the season, which we're quite capable of doing, we still win Bundesliga, but we're not dominating the way we did before. And Bayern are good again, and I hate it. Did I mention I hate it? Please, let's go and beat Atletico. I'm going to be Very cross. Right, I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I've had enough of the fancy back four. We're going normal back four for Atletico. Gray at left back. Ferreira is going to come in and play as a normal right back. We're also bringing Ayadeli into the midfield and pushing Big Kev forward. Bellingham is going to be back in 2 weeks. Goodness me. Do we need him? Right, we're 3-1 up from the first leg and we're at home. We surely can't balls this up. If we do, if we do, I feel like I might have to accidentally kick the power cord on the computer. Is that a thing we'll get? We probably won't get. You might notice. Right, Big Kev with the long throat. Please, let's have an early goal just to calm me down. Van Eijma. I love that man. Remember, we've promised him we're going to win the Champions League this year or he can leave. So if we don't win the Champions League, that's very problematic because I think if we can't win it in 2 years of having, or 3, is it 2 or 3 years we've had him? If we can't win it after 3 years of him being in the team and trying, how on earth are we supposed to win it without him? I mean, I guess Ayadeli just gets back into the team on a regular basis. And there is something of an Ayadeli fan club down in the comments section. He does. I mean, I realise how good he is. It's just we've got a load of midfielders who are better than him. It maybe was a little harsh on him that we went out and signed Ruiz in the summer, but we just needed someone. I wanted a direct Carrier replacement, and I realised we probably could have played Ayadeli where he's playing today and made Bellingham the more attacking of the two, and it might have been even more effective, but we did it this way instead. And it does mean that in a situation like this where we've got an injury to a key player, we're able to bring Ayadeli in, he's able to play a beautiful assist to Big Kev, and we can go 2-0 up. So Ayadeli's still young. He's still only 22, 23 years old. He doesn't get talked about as excitedly as Van Eijma because he's obviously not Van Eijma level, but he's very, very good. And by the time he's 25, he'll be a regular starter for us, I'm sure. Bellingham isn't going to be around forever. This could be a look at what the midfield three is for the next few years after Bellingham is gone. Colin Gray makes it 3-0, and okay, we've recovered. We've recovered sufficiently from Bayern Munich, and I think we're going to take it out on Atletico today. Let's stick 8 past this lot. They look absolutely powerless to stop us, so it will make me feel a little bit better if we have another big high-scoring game, please and thank you. We've got absolutely nobody at left back. Colin Gray is playing as an out-and-out left back today. Where on earth is he? Has he just got so used to playing as a defensive midfielder that even when he's told not to, he's just forgotten? And he's just going to... Their right winger can have the ball. I mean, is that Rooney Bargi playing on the right wing for them? No, I mean, he's not very good, is he? I can't imagine he's going to be too much of a threat if we leave him completely unmarked. He's their captain as well. And we're just leaving him to do his own thing. Well, we got away with it, but goodness me. Right, it is. Atletico have had the last couple of highlights here. They look like they're trying to claw their way back into the tie. They're not going to be able to. We're 6-1 up on aggregate, and Big Kev, the best striker in the world, certainly plays better in the striker role. Should have played Ayadeli against Bayern Munich. I was just trying to get Big Kev and Egan into the team at the same time. And I think after 2 years of trying to do that, I just need to accept they don't need to play at the same time. We've actually rotated them enough for them both to still be happy not being the guy who starts every single week. So with neither of them complaining about game time, let's just not worry about it. Keep doing what we're doing and play attack. This is revolutionary. Write this one down. I'll give you a second to grab a pen and paper because you are going to want to write this down. Play strikers as strikers and then midfielders in midfield. That's my... It's taken me a couple of seasons, but that's the tactic. I can't even say it. The tactical analysis that I've come up with. If we play our players in the positions in which they are best at doing football, that's a good thing. That's an even more all-encompassing way of describing what I said before. Just play them in the right positions. Don't try and be too clever. We've gone back to basics today. Everyone's in their right position. Look at us go. It's been a lovely day. This is what we should have done against Bayern Munich. See, I say that. I don't know that this would have been any more effective against them because the flat back four and the midfield three against that horrible box, we know it doesn't work. So this is working today because we're playing against a team who aren't having a very good season. We've already said they're 6th in La Liga. They're not very good at the moment. And this has always been a setup that we can use to blow poor teams away. It's not a setup that beats the good teams. That's a lovely goal from Ferreira. That's why he wears the number 10 as a right back, because every now and again he can pop up and do something like that. It is a lovely finish. Ayadelli playing it back to Van Eijma. It bobbles clear to Ferreira, who really shouldn't be having a shot from there. I'd be very cross with him if he'd have missed, but he does wonderfully. And it's 7-1 now on aggregate. We are well ahead of our XG. We're having a very good match. More of this, please, boys, for the rest of the season. Ayadelli, who's had a really, really good game. We've not missed Bellingham at all today. Van Eijma spraying it out to Emil Hiskey on this left-hand side, and he tries to cut it inside to Gray, but couldn't get there. The one thing is, Gray hasn't been anywhere near as dominant, controlling, whatever the word would be. I guess he's kept Bargi quiet, which he is, first and foremost, a defender. Getting back to that little rule we developed a minute ago, his first job as a defender is to defend, and he's done quite well at that today. So I suppose I can't complain too much. They've got a goal back. They did this in the first leg. We're not going to worry too much about it. We're not even going to watch the replay because we should just be cruising towards the full-time whistle in this one. And I'm not even sure if the draw has happened for the next round yet. I don't think I know there's a stage of the Champions League where they start drawing the rounds in advance. I don't think we've hit that stage yet. So we don't know who we're getting. It's a lovely little mystery, but we're going to bring on some of our fringe players, Cessped, Ilunga and Oliveira, who tend to be first off the bench now. We're trying to make all of them a thing. We want more strength in depth. We want more rotation. And Oliveira in particular, I'm very excited about because he's a Brazil international, but Ilunga I really want to make work because I am very aware that Bellingham is not going to be here much longer. He's 31, which I know isn't ancient, but he's already said he's not going to sign a new contract with us. He's got 18 months left on his contract and there's interest from Saudi Arabia. So realistically, if we want to have any hope of getting back the £100 million we spent on him only 2 years ago, we've got to sell him this summer if he's not going to sign a new contract. So Bellingham's probably off in the summer. Ayadelli has done a very good job today of making me realise that he should be the man who takes that spot. But Ilunga still has time to force his way in there as well. So we shall keep monitoring the situation. We're just shuffling things around a little bit again. Of course, we've got new boy Marin, who's coming off the bench today. Ayadelli now drops back into his more natural defensive midfield position. I guess if we don't win the Champions... Here's the scenario where we don't win the Champions League and we have to sell Van Eijma and Bellingham. We could end up with Ayadelli and Ilunga both as starters, although realistically, if we're selling Van Eijma and Bellingham, you would think that's £250 million coming in. We could probably go Ayadelli, Ruiz, and then a new boy, like a new elite level player to replace the two that have left. Ayadelli could just come in there and replace Van Eijma, and we don't lose a huge amount, I don't think. And then we just sign someone really, really good to replace Bellingham, and Ilunga and Marin just have to wait a little bit longer. And if they don't want to wait a little bit longer, they should talk to Ayadelli because he's doing a great example of how you'd wait a little bit longer, and he will be a starter before too long. Again, I mean, I know he was a starter in his first season, but that's a nice little recovery from Bayern Munich. We don't know who we're going to play in the Champions League round of 16 yet. The draw is tomorrow. Let's have a look at the draw and then we can see who we're going to be playing tomorrow. So here we go then. Champions League draw. Who's hosting it? Carvalho. And I mean, there's no easy games at this point, is there? Cliche. That being said, Lille are still in it, so there's no easy games, but we'll have Lille, thanks, out of that selection. Would take Roma as well. I don't even know if Inter are any good anymore now they've lost their manager, but it's going to be Milan versus Barcelona, Lyon versus Lille. Well, would have taken either of them. That feels like a waste. Tottenham versus Paris Saint-Germain, Ajax versus Liverpool, Leipzig versus Inter. What's left for us here? Borussia Dortmund will face Roma. Okay, we played them last year. We beat them. we can play them and beat them again. That's fine. How good are Roma this year? Press the right buttons, Kev. Roma this season are second in Serie A. So it looks like they're a better team than they were last year under Steve Cooper. Of course they are. And that'll be tomorrow's episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.